right, so listen to this one. James Fishback, a Republican running for governor in Florida, is making headlines for a very specific tax idea. It is a so-called sin tax. And yes, it's exactly as strange as it sounds. Now, this would tax OnlyFans creators 50% of their income. Fishback says it's a moral stand, part of a plan to fund schools and make lunches healthier. But here's a small detail. He has zero political experience and no actual legislation written yet. But still, he claims taxing adult content creators would help the state. Not surprisingly, the internet had some thoughts. OnlyFans star Sophie Rain, who says that she's made around $99 million on this platform. She fired back saying, "This is so dumb. Don't call me out. God knows what I do. This is not a sin." As of now, there is nothing officially on the books. No bill, no framework, no details on how this would even work. So what do you think about this? Is this a serious policy idea, or is it just a headline-grabbing stunt that's going nowhere?
So they want to sin tax OnlyFans creators for being immoral, and this might be the most hypocritical law I've seen in 2026. So you want to tax the women but not the men subscribing. If something is completely legal, why is the government suddenly deciding they can tax it differently on being immoral? Because once the government start taxing things based on morality, where does that stop? Does it stop at gambling? Does it stop at alcohol, cigarettes, fast food, dating apps, social media? In 2026 especially, you don't get to pick and choose what women profit from, especially if it's legal. And I'm actually curious, I'm not going to say my opinion, but do you think this is about morality or control? Because you don't see them saying that they're going to tax the men that have invented these apps. Who made OnlyFans? Who made Pornhub? Who owns these companies? Oh, they don't want to tax the billionaires that own. He's definitely mad he spent all this money subscribing and he's trying to get a paycheck back.
Who's this stupid ass incel loser who's trying to tax 50% to bops in Florida? My brother in Christ, the government will really do anything besides just regulate the fucking industry. They will do anything but get the minors off of the platform. They will do anything but try to find the men who are hurting people, hurting little people on the platforms. Like, you guys will literally do anything. And you're like, oh, we're just going to tax the creators. What about the managers? What about the managers? The managers make 50%. I've had 85% taken from me at one point. I've had 60% taken from me. I had 100% taken from me 1 month to start an account from zero. So what? Who is actually profiting from this? Who's profiting from it the most? You guys will propose literally anything but the actual problems. You will dance around the topic over and over and over again instead of actually addressing the problem, which, besides political parties, I think everyone who's not a psychopath agrees upon. I think we all agree that our children need to be safe. I think we all agree that the internet is a fucking problem for children with all these gaming apps, with all the social media apps. I'm gonna post a lot about that this week. I've just been a little bit busy. School started, about some action steps that you guys can take to make sure that certain laws or bills, I don't really know the difference, get put into place so that, you know, we can have more protections on platforms and we can actually have the people who should be held accountable, Elon Musk, for the technology that they put out, and if they're not going to put the right regulations on the technology, because it seems like every other AI app could put the restrictions on it. But anyways, that's a different topic. I'm not going to get into that right now. My whole point is the government will really do anything but address the fucking issue. And I think that goes for a lot of things, which is why I don't even pay attention to left, right, fucking, I'm up, okay? You guys can be left, right, I'm up. Bye.
All right, this to be Florida Governor Fishburne or Fishback, whatever. He wants to do a sin tax on OnlyFans model, taxing them 50% for doing ungodly things on OnlyFans. Now, hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Okay, what you must know first and foremost is that OnlyFans are just not for, you know, adult film activity. It's pretty much like Patreon, where you putting your content behind a paywall. You may know how to build a birdhouse, and people might just pay to get your knowledge on building birdhouses or doing siding. That's what it's about. It's not exclusively that, but I agree with it, man, because, you know, when you infuse whores into society, will destroy a society. This is why they used to get outcast. They used to get marked in society, because when you have covert hoes in society, they destroy society. They destroy workplaces. All it takes is a promiscuous woman in the workplace, and, you know, it can tear it all the way down. You know, it can tear a household down. So they can sit here and defend it all they want to, but somebody got to take a stand. You know, a lot of this country, they make you swear on the Bible when you go into the court system, but we don't live by none of the main things, or some of the main things in the Bible. They don't live by that. It should be a tax because it's destroying. Right now, you feel like the average OnlyFans creator, only gets $200 a month. So everybody ain't making what these women are really making on OnlyFans. But at the end of the day, when it comes to having children, you know, how do your child feel when he go to school? Your mom's an adult film star on OnlyFans. We had the mother who was promoting her OnlyFans in the back of her car, taking her kids to school, and they had to tell her to stop. At the end of the day, where do we draw the line at, man? Somebody must do something about this stuff. Because y'all don't want to get a job, y'all don't want to live right, but then you don't want to deal with the consequences, because, you know, when you don't get certain jobs for having OnlyFans, there's certain female adult film stars who have great jobs. They're teachers, they're in finance, but they get fired because they were whores. They get fired because they were whores. Oh, this is your performer. We can't have you here. Sorry. And then these women be wondering, when you do these things and men start sexualizing you, as women talking about how the people that find them on OnlyFans, you know, they friends and family and the pool boy. And they can lie and say they don't have no shame about it. Even the most whorest of the whores, they have shame. They have shame about what they do. You can say it don't bother them. That's why when you go into the adult film industry, the women in that industry have the highest self-unaliving rates. You know, we can't build a society with this. And women thinking, well, I graduate from high school, but no, fuck that. When I turn 18, I'm gonna go on OnlyFans and destroy your life early. And you think you gonna make a couple hundred, you might make enough to survive off of for the first year. But at the end of the day, then what? Then you wanna turn a leaf over to God. Then you wanna, you know, go be a manager at Chick-fil-A, or you wanna go to higher education. That's always gonna stick with you. It all automatically disqualifies you from the men that you really wanna be with, husband. I mean, shit, even probably studs or lesbians don't want to deal with that. Lesbians probably don't want to deal with that. You want to destroy your reputation before you even, you know, live your life. And then you get older and you dealing with these mental demons and all this type of stuff. I mean, you just had Abigail Danger. They showed her at the national championship for college football. And she apologizing because she went viral. Sorry. You think that don't mess with them, dog? You think all these women eventually want families? They want children. And you shouldn't be able, when you in that line of work, any adult, you should be, as a woman, and probably as a guy too, you should be banned from those activities. You should be banned from those. You shouldn't be able to procreate and bring a child into this world, and you was a porn star. Are you insane? Are you insane? You know, you have to be insane. Excuse me. That is so unfair to the child. You know, a mother joke can spark a Oh, fucking right. But I agree with it. I think it, I mean, like I said, I'm not one to be in the strip clubs, you know, but as far as the OnlyFans thing, it is so detrimental. But that women sit here and lie, oh, I don't care. And then when it comes to that time to want to have children, you know, Bonnie Blue, then she tried to say erase it. And I seen a video where her mother was justifying her doing what she doing. At some point, this is why you need real men in the house, bro. I remember it was a dude, man, on the internet, his sister, you know, taking care of his sister, and he found her, she was, you know, tricking on the streets on Figueroa Street, or I think it was. He kicked her out the house. He kicked her out the house, rightfully so. Women don't really understand its consequences to every action, bro. They don't really understand that. They don't understand that it's consequences, man. You know, it come with consequences. And it's destroying societies, man. It's destroying societies. And they see a Mia Khalifa get married, but she ain't right to get married, to have no children, bro, with that background. You ain't right, man. You know, a lot of these women, they promiscuous, you know, it was a guy just did a video on, or short a video on, where he said his stepdaughter was doing OF. You know what I'm saying? And the house, while the kids and the family was there, she was in the living room doing stuff while he was there. And while the kids was there, and he put her out. And the mama said, you put her out, you know, I can't, you know, let her do it. He was like, you get out too. And she was like, well, if she go, I go. And he said he willing to file a divorce. He's willing to get a divorce over it. The women be telling these girls it's okay to go do this. It's okay to have a 304 phase. And when it's time to pair bond, when it's time to settle down, they wonder why no dude want to take them serious, and they got to settle for a guy that don't know no better, destroy his life, make him miserable, you know, destroy his life, make him miserable, you know. And now, you know, there's another man telling women not to get married. Most of these women, they settle, especially when you get women that's in their 30s, they get married. A lot of women, they settling, bro. They don't want them dudes, bro. The guy they really wanted is a wrap. And this is how you get women who, you know, they'll lie and say, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have children. And guess thing you do, they end up pregnant. They end up begging for marriage. Oh, don't worry about it. I used to be on OF. And any dude to tell you, I remember they had the dude that do the pack you up in the top list from New York. I think his name Will, I forget his name, you know, really talented guy. He was on DJ Snitch TV, and DJ Vlad asked him, he was like, yeah, you know, if your girl, you know, it's a video of your girl you find out your girl get a train ran on her, you leaving her? He said, yeah. And he said, I actually had a homie that happened to, and he left his wife. He said, no, you won't. The dynamics between us, black people, and white people, just to be Pacific, they don't put as much emphasis on sex. You know, a lot of times, I ain't gonna say a lot, sometimes you see they don't mind, you know, sharing their wives, sharing their husbands. To them, it's just sex once you talk to them. I'm gonna do a video eventually when I'm gonna get to the desk where I don't know who she is. She's talking about she don't mind her man cheating as long as he don't emotionally cheat. See, white people, they don't focus as much on the sex, but in general, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it ain't that deep to them. For the black community, it's that deep. It's that deep. It's that deep. It really is. But I agree with his syntax, man. At some point, we gotta draw the line, bro, to save our society. You know, and you know, 50%, yeah, pay your syntax. Pay it. You want to do it, pay it. You want to destroy your reputation. And so many women are willing to destroy their reputation on OnlyFans just to make quick money. It's worse than drug dealing. But once you do that, as a woman, no respectable man wants to deal with you. None. And most women always want to, do the spin the block. They always want to reach back and, I didn't know no better. I changed my life over to this, that, and the third, and I switched to this religion. And I'm a change. Nah, you ain't changed, man. You got to understand, most women, bro, they be burnt. And a lot of times, it's not about the sex no more, and I don't really care about this. You just like, you already know. Why would you have your right blinker on and you turn it left? I mean, your left blinker on, you turning right. What be going on with people, bruh? It got to be his girlfriend driving this car because she cannot drive. I can already tell. She cannot drive. She cannot drive, bro. I see why he don't let her drive. I already know where she going. What I tell you. But I bet it's the girl. Like, geez, I see why he don't got 2 cars. I see why. It might be him, because a lot of these niggas can't drive neither. And I just be looking at people, dog. Everybody be driving in a rush and shit, and these motherfuckers cannot drive, bro. It better not be bro. If it's bro, why are they playing? They got a bunch of kids playing soccer. I would run. It was bro. Sorry to the females. Come on, man. Come on, man. Get the fuck out the way. I will run your fucking ball over. I wouldn't, but that's all I had to say, man. Peace.
So what do you feel about James Fishback and his plan to tax you 50% as a sin tax for being a sinner?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. Florida already has no income state tax. It doesn't exist. So it seems very selective, and it seems like it's a punishment.
James, are you there, James? Yeah, you are. I mean, Sophie says that that she feels like this is a punishment. Why are you punishing her?
Well, hey, Sophie, good to meet you. It's not a punishment at all. What it is a deterrent. I think Sophie recognizes that our state was better off when young women aspired to be teachers, small business owners, doctors, and lawyers, as opposed to creating adult content. I can respect Sophie Rain as an individual and still respectfully call out that I don't want thousands of young women who are in high school today to feel like the only way they can make a living when they graduate is selling adult content, video, photos of themselves on the internet. And so, Sophie, look, with all due respect, I know you're from Florida. I'm from Florida. We both love our state. I want what's best for you, and I want what's best for every single woman in our state, and that's not to be objectified and exploited by the OnlyFans owners.
Sophie, what's your response to that?
I feel like as adults, we are all able to legally make our own decisions. And I think that we should also educate a lot more on all of these opportunities that you're speaking of, because I just don't think that we should be singling out any individual for what they choose to do.
James?
Well, I want to single out drug dealers, Sophie. I want to single out people who are committing crimes in our society. And so as governor, my responsibility is very simple. I want to make sure that there is a path. What is, with all due respect to Sophie, what are you going to tell your daughter in 10 or 15 years when all of these images are all over the internet and your daughter is being bullied in middle school and was told that you guys were Christians? With all due respect, what do you say then? It creates a real weight, a real tension between a mom and her children, and of course, a worker and her employer. I don't want to encourage women to go on OnlyFans and then get fired from their job and then have a real fight at home about what mommy did on the internet last week.
Okay, Sophie?
I mean, I'm only 21. I haven't even thought about having kids yet. But also, I think that the main discussion here is sin tax. And like in the state of Florida, there's already no income tax. So, and that's also one of the main identities of Florida, is that it is a no income state tax. And I think the main issue here is you're attacking women already on the site making money.
I'm attacking men as well.
Exactly. There's multiple people on the site, and not everyone does adult content.
Prior to slavery being illegal,
the same laws that you do, James.
No, Pierce. Prior to slavery being illegal, would you have opposed slavery because it was legal? It was legal, Pierce. It's okay if it's legal, right?
Sophie?
I mean, I didn't live back then. I'm just here to talk about what we are here to talk about, which is sin tax, and it's a selective.
Of course you didn't live back then, Sophie. Of course you didn't. This is my issue. I'm here to have a good faith conversation with a former Florida resident, a current Florida resident. And my point to Sophie is this. is if you want to keep doing this, then we're going to take 50% of what you earn and we're going to use it to raise public school teacher pay. Our public school teachers are not getting paid enough. We're going to use this as a resource to fund the empowerment of young women who have signed up to do something dignified, with all due respect, unlike you, and be a public school teacher, educating, inspiring, and
Do
motivating
you know what,
the
James?
next generation.